afternoon, Yaladim, and welcome back for more children's Torah stories. Last time we had the story of Yiftach, and do you remember that Yiftach did something quite silly? He made a promise to Hashem, if you help me win the fight, then whatever will come out of my front door, I will give to you as a present. Do you remember? Oh, thanks, buddy. Do you remember what came out of his front door? Was it a sheep? It was not. Was it a puppy? It was not. Was it a bowl of ice cream? It was not. Was it his only child, his special daughter? No. Hi, Daddy, I'm so happy to see you. Oh, no. Now I have to give you as a present to Hashem. Bye. No, Daddy. That's such a silly thing that you promised. Well, I did make the promise. So there's nothing else I can do. She said, I've got an idea. Maybe I can go and just live far away from everyone else, and it will be like you gave me to Hashem. And he said, yes, okay, we will do that. Fine. Okay, you have to go away now. Bye. Well, Yiftach, that's a really silly promise that you made. Oh, I'll give the first thing that comes out of my house to Hashem. Well, I mean, it could have been a person like it was. Number two, even if you made a promise like that, you shouldn't have to keep it because that's a ridiculous promise. That's a silly thing that you said. If you made a promise to do something and you said, I promise I will help clean up, or I promise I will help to do my chores, then you have to keep that promise. But imagine if you would say to your brother or your sister, I promise that I will smack them. Is that a good promise to make? No, that would be a terrible promise to make. And even if you would promise to smack them, you would not keep that promise. No, no, no. A promise to smack is not a promise that you should keep. So it was the same thing with Yiftach. Yes, he said, I promise Hashem, I will give whatever comes out of my front door as a present to Hashem. But that was a silly idea. And then when it was his daughter, he should have said, oh man, what a silly thing I did by making that promise. Sorry, Hashem, for being silly, but obviously I can't give my daughter as a present to Hashem. Well, that is what he should have realized. But anyway, after that, things carried on going badly because the Jewish people weren't really helping each other in the way that they were supposed to. Remember how we learned about Avimelech, that he wanted to be the boss of the Jewish people and he was going around fighting with other Jewish people and all things like that? Well, it was getting a little bit like that because people from this part of Israel were fighting against people from that part of Israel. The two of them were fighting and they were not being friends. And this side said, you know what? We will not let you come into our part of Israel. What do you think of that, Yeladim? Is that a fantastic idea? Is that an okay idea? Or is that a terrible idea? It is indeed quite right. It is a terrible idea. Jewish people saying to other Jewish people, you can't come to this part of Israel. That is not a nice thing to say. We should want them to be together and to share, but they didn't. In fact, they even made a rule. These people made a rule. If you guys come across, we will put you in jail. That was the rule that they started making. Well, do you want to hear a clever trick that these guys tried? These guys would come across and they would say, oh no, we are not from this side of the river. We are actually from this side. we were just visiting our friends. And now we're coming back home. So that should be fine because we're not from the other side. That sounds like a good trick, right? Except, do you know about accents, Yeladim? Different people from different places speak with an accent. So, sometimes the people from Scotland can speak with a Scottish accent, and the people from Ireland can speak with an Irish accent. And if you're from America, there are a lot of different American accents. Well, the people from this side of the river spoke with an accent as well. They could not say the sound of shh. They couldn't say that. Every time they tried to say shh, do you know what they said instead? S. So if they were trying to say hello, do you know what they would say? Salom. Salom, everybody. That's what they would say. Or if they were trying
to say, I am Shem.
Well, I had the other way around. When I was a little boy, many years ago, when the world was young, I couldn't say s. So I sometimes used to say oh or things like that. So instead of saying my name is Sam, I would say my name is Lamb. But this was the other way around. They couldn't say shh. So instead they said s. So imagine if a mom and dad were trying to put their children to sleep or trying to calm them down. They would go s, 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 s. Instead of shh, shh, they would say s, s. Or they'd say s, everyone be quiet. Or if somebody's name was Shmuel, they would call them Smuel. Or if all kinds of things like that. Are you coming up again? Okay, so if they would do all kinds of things. Thank you. Aileen says she liked my Scottish accent and she is from Scotland, so she knows what she's talking about. It is my favorite accent to do, but my children sometimes get a little bit irritated by me always doing a Scottish accent. Well, coming back to the story, they couldn't say shh, they could only say s. So, what happened was, when these people would see somebody coming across the river, they would say to them, say shibolet. No, I don't have to say that. I really am from that side of the river. Then fine. Then say shibolet. Sibolet. We caught you. You said sibolet instead of shibolet. We are putting you in jail. Oh, no. And they would grab them and put them in jail. So that is a bit funny how they used to test them. Say shibolet. Sibolet. Sibolet. No, I mean sibolet. No, I mean sibolet. But the sad thing is that they were actually putting other Jewish people in jail. What a terrible thing. And that was their clever trick for catching them. Well, eventually they stopped doing those silly things like that. And Yiftach helped the Jewish people for another 6 years. And then, yes, you're going to have him in the next one. And then after that, there was, and he was actually from this side that could say the shh. That was where Gilad was from. That was where Yiftach was from. That land was called the Gilad, the area of the Gilad. Well, after that, there was another guy called Evtzan. And after that, there was another guy called Elon. And after that, there was another guy called Avdon. And after that, the Jewish people started praying to idols again. I don't know what to do, Yaladim. It drives me crazy that they keep forgetting and ending up praying to idols. And I'm sure you know what happens next. The bad people from the Plishtim started attacking them, and Hashem didn't help them. And they said, "Wow, Hashem, please help us." And so, well, I'm not even sure if they threw their idols away this time around. But Hashem said, okay, I will help you. But this time is going to be different to the other times. Because all the other times, it was a whole army of Jewish people who would fight against the bad guys and chase them away. This time, Hashem is going to send one hero, you might even say a superhero, to come and save the Jewish people all by himself. Well, on the one hand, that's a very good thing, to have a superhero who can win the fights by himself. On the other hand, that's not such a good thing, because the whole point was for the Jewish people to work together to do the right thing for Hashem and to go and chase away the bad people. And remember, Hashem is the one who's helping them, not their idols and everything else. Well, this time round, it was just going to be one guy. But before I tell you the story about that guy, I must tell you the story about his parents. His parents were called Manoach. Hello everyone, I am Manoach. Hello Manoach, nice to meet you. And Chatzalel Poni. Hello everyone, I'm Chatzalel Poni. Hello Chatzalel Poni. What a normal name you have. I know so many people called Chatzalel Poni. Yeladim, do you know lots of people called Chatzalel Poni? It's not a very common name. But that was her name, and his name was Manoach. Well, once Mrs. Manoach, name is Chatzalel Poni, but we'll call her Mrs. Manoach. Once Mrs. Manoach was walking along, and along came a man to talk to her. Bark! It wasn't really a chicken. Hello, Mrs. Manoach. Hello, Mr. Man. Mrs. Manoach, I have a special message for you from Hashem.
I know who the boy is. Shmuel.
Not Shmuel, but close. Does start with a shh. Yes. It is going to be Shimshon, or in English, Samson, or if you come from that side of the river, Simpson. That's what they would call him. They couldn't say Shimshon, so they would say Simson. So, and that's where Samson actually comes from Shimshon. Well, this man came to say to her, Chatzalel Poni, Mrs. Manoach, I have wonderful news for you. I know that you and your husband are both old, and you didn't think that you would have a child. But, surprise! Hashem is going to give you a cutie little baby. You know that baby, but I'm just saying. A cutie little baby. And you have some rules. You may not eat. You may not drink any wine or any alcohol. So that's like whiskey or anything like that. Chatzalel Poni, you're not allowed to drink any of that. And, oh, there the baby. Thanks, I wondered where he was. And when the baby is born, you must not cut his hair. No, no, no. His hair must grow his whole life, because that is to show that he is special for Hashem, and he does not cut his hair. His hair is like a crown of being special for Hashem. Okay, Chatzalel Poni. And she said, okay, that sounds fantastic. Thank you for the good news. And she went and told Manoach, Manoach, I have such exciting news. A man came to tell me what Hashem said. Hashem said we are going to have a baby. And he said, really, really? And she said, yes. And he said, Hashem, he started praying to Hashem, Hashem, please send the man again to come and tell us, because I don't know if my wife, oh thanks boy, I don't know if my wife is really telling us the truth. Is she, Eladim, is she telling the truth? Yes, of course she is. What a silly man, Manoach, for not trusting her. But I guess it was such a big promise, thanks buddy. I guess it was such a big promise that they were old, they were going to have a child. He just wanted to really hear it again in his show. And here came the man again. Buck, hello, how are you? Excuse me, Mr. Man, please, will you tell us what you told my wife? I already told your wife. Surely I don't need to tell you again. Well, please just do anyway. Fine. I have very good news for you. you guys are going to have a baby. And remember that you mustn't drink alcohol like wine and things like that. And you must make sure that you never cut the baby's hair. And he is going to help save the Jewish people. And Manoach said, oh, thank you, oh, thank you. As a way of saying thank you, I would like to give you some lunch. And he said, no, 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 I will not eat lunch. Don't worry. If you want to give a present to someone, give a present to Hashem. Yes, what a great idea. And so he got some food ready to give as a present to Hashem. And he said, but please, before you go, tell me, what is your name? I cannot tell you my name. My name is a secret.
Why is it a secret?
Well, you're going to find out in 1 second. And Manoach said, okay, promise the secret name. And he put the present there for Hashem. And then, woof, fire came out of nowhere, swallowed up the present that they had made. And the man, Manoach, realized, was this actually a man? No, sorry, Bob. This was an angel that had come. And now we know why he didn't want to eat the lunch, because angels don't eat food. And we also know why he didn't tell his name, because most of the time, the names of the angels are secret. Well, Manoach said to his wife, oh no, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. We're going to die. Manoach, why are we going to die? Because we saw an angel. We're going to die. Manoach, Hashem sent the angel to tell us good news. Do you think he would tell the angel to make us die? The angel came to give us good news that we're going to have a child who's going to help the whole Jewish people. No, I guess not. That is right. Manoach, that's why you should listen to me, okay? Says Chatzel Alponi. Yes, dear, says Manoach, and he learned his lesson. Well, soon after that, they did indeed have a baby. Ta-da! Mazel tov, Simon Tov, Mazel tov, Mazel tov, Simon Tov. They had a little baby boy, and they called him Shimshon. Shimshon is the Hebrew for Samson. Would you rather I called him Shimshon or Samson, Yeladim? Give me a thumbs up if you would prefer Shimshon. And give me a thumbs up if you would prefer Samson. Okay, I think more for Shimshon. So we will call him Shimshon. And Shimshon began to grow up. But soon it became clear that Shimshon was not an ordinary man. Because even though he looked like normal, every once in a while, Hashem would give him super strength. And when he had super strength, he was the strongest man in the entire world. He could do almost anything with this super strength. Imagine if Hashem gave him super strength at the wrong time and he went to get a book from the bookshelf, but suddenly super strength, boom, knocked the whole bookshelf over. I don't think too many things like that happened, but it could have, because he was the strongest when Hashem gave him that super strength. And he's going to use that super strength to save the Jewish people. Do you want to hear how, Yeladim? Well, I'll tell you next time. Bye.